You think you know me.
On this day, I see clearly everything is come to light.
So today I want to take a look at a developing story that we see in the media as it relates to student athletes transferring between different schools. So once again, we see where the issue of transferring students between high school has again caused a big stir. An article written by Orville Higgins and published in the Gleaner on February 15, 2020, basically has opened our eyes to a situation affecting a Kingston College athlete. Now, according to sources, this athlete transferred from a school in the western part of the island last year. This transfer to KC was completed just a couple days before champs in March 2019. Based on reports, this is a student athlete that is extremely talented. Now, this athlete sat out champs last year in keeping with the ISSA transfer rule. So basically ISSA has this transfer rule that says that if an athlete should transfer from one high school to another, then that athlete basically would have to miss out an entire year of competing in ISSA sanctioned events. So we see where the athlete, having sat out 1 year, would have been looking forward to participating in champs this year. So basically the athlete would have sat out champs last year. So we know that the athlete wouldn't have been able to garnered any championship experience last year. However, having said that, the Class 2 athlete would be one of the top athletes to look out for this year in his event, based on what we are hearing from our sources. So based on what we see developing, it is a strong possibility that this student athlete will miss another year through no fault of his. Now, looking at it, March last year to March this year is definitely 1 year. The thing that is causing the big fuss is ISSA saying that with registration deadline for this year's champs being February 14, the student would have not been at KC for 1 year at the time of registration. So basically this means he won't be able to represent KC at champs this year. All things being equal, this would mean the athlete missing another year to showcase his talent, not only locally but also globally, seeing that our championship is basically live streamed in different countries around the world. As it relates to this whole thing, I am of the view that ISSA should use the date from when the student would have started his new school to the date of the competition the following year. So that most definitely would make it 1 year in this case. So the athlete would be free to participate, having sat out 1 year of champs. Having said that, the ISSA rules are clearly stated, hence them being able to enforce them. It is the initiative of the coaching staff to read and to comply to all these rules in order to make sure all student athletes' best interest is at the forefront. As we know, the debate will forever continue as to if students should be allowed to transfer between schools solely on the basis of sports. As this story develops, we will be sure to do a follow-up. On the next edition of Sports to the Bone, we will be looking at positive and negative effects or impact of students transferring between schools. So we are hoping to continue the discussion as it relates to this story, but we are also going to divulge into some of the positive and negative impact of students basically transferring from one school to another. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Sports to the Bone as I look to keep you informed